to hear. Yeah.
Well, growing up in Greenville in the 60s is racism was very evident. Fortunately for me, my parents were both very educated people, both school teachers, master's degrees, so they didn't buy into the norms of society. I was raised not to hate anybody because of the color of their skin, even though it was happening to me.
All around you, yeah.
Yeah, but I was always told that I was $1 million guy. I was always encouraged to look like somebody, which is something my dad, to this very day, even though he's rest in peace, Pops, but he still lives within me because it's real important as a black man to represent myself well, and I go above and beyond, and it's not for me so much; it's more for my dad. You know, like I said, it was really tough because people were holding things against me that I didn't even know why. Now fast forward to now, I know why now. But as a kid, I'm just trying to have fun like the next kid. I'm not trying to be better than anybody. I'm not trying to take anything from anybody. It's just because of my skin color, I was treated differently. But it didn't. Athletically, I was blessed because I wasn't. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all I worked really hard and I lifted a lot of weights and I ran miles in a hot Texas sun, because that's not true. Matter of fact, I was just the opposite of that. But God blessed me athletically. So at the end of my high school career, I had so much success that I got full scholarship offers all over the country. And I know this isn't going to set well with my Nebraska base, but I actually wanted to play for Oklahoma.
Well, these days people don't care as much.
But that's because I grew up watching Oklahoma.
Yeah, of course you did.
And a lot of my high school buddies all played for Oklahoma, and they were playing there when I came out of high school. So that's where I wanted to go. And my parents were more impressed with Coach Osborne than they were with Barry Switzer.
Okay.
So
are your parents from Texas, or are they from Oklahoma?
No, my parents are both from Texas.
Okay.
Yes, and they just, Barry Switzer was very persuasive for me personally, because he was talking about things that an 18-year-old want to hear.
Yeah.
But Coach Osborne was more persuasive toward my parents.
Talking about things parents want to hear.
Correct. And when you're talking to two school teachers that are with master's degrees, and you got a choice between Coach Osborne talking about 95% of our athletes graduate, and Barry's talking about all the bells and whistles.
Yeah. They're going to go with Coach Osborne. And he's a persuasive guy.
Yeah, and it was a no-brainer, and my dad was a no-nonsense guy. So, once he made his mind up, it wasn't really a debate anymore.
Yeah, and your dad was a big inspiration for you playing football, right?
Yes, right. He basically, it was like it was like a little a personal deal we made. It was like a deal we made just, it was like fifth grade. He was like, son, I was a pretty good ball player, kind of like you play ball, and I'll get you all these little things you think you got to have.
Yeah.
Well, fifth grade, man, I've been looking at this bicycle for 2 weeks, So I went and played and got the bicycle.
Yeah.
And then around 7th, 8th grade, I noticed that the girls were kind of giving me a little attention, but I ain't had no game, so I played football to get my wardrobe right.
Yeah. Got it.
Then high school, you get your license, you want a car.
Yeah.
And it just spilled over from there.
Got it. And did you have any siblings that were?
No.
Okay.
No.
So just you and your parents then.
Yes,
Got it.
yes.
Yeah.
The more and more that we get to learn about his parents, I'm just going to try to bring up stuff that we couldn't put in the movie. We could have, but we didn't want it to be so long.
Well, that'll make it interesing for the listeners if they can't see the movie.
So much bonus features, bonus footage that we want to share after it gets released. But his dad he was an entrepreneur. He owned many businesses around town. He'd start his morning, 5 a.m.?
Yeah, it was 5 a.m.
Go pick up women that needed rides to a town 30 miles away.
Yeah, the Dallas area.
Yep, to Texas Instruments.
Okay.
He knew they didn't have transportation in order to keep a job secure.
Right.
So he was Uber before Uber
existed. Yeah. Wow. So he taught school and did that stuff. Did he have like a summer business, like a lot?
Well, he had like 10 rent houses.
Okay.
And then in the evenings, he had a pool hall and a cafe.
Wow.
So his days went from 5 in the morning to around midnight, and then he'd get up at 4:30 and start all over again.
Sounds a little bit like Tony.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Awesome.
it was pretty funny though. This is a funny story. As a kid, I had my first job was in a pool hall.
Okay.
And I was a rack boy. You
Yeah.
know, I would rack the pool. I would go around and collect the quarters, rack the balls, and I had a little metal crate that I'd stand on so I could rack the ball.
Uh-huh.
And a couple of times, I heard guys say, "We should rob that little dude. We should rob that little dude." And there was this guy always sitting in a corner, and he looked like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
You know? And he just would sit there, and all he did the whole time I was racking balls was stare at me. And fast forward, I later found out that we called him Iron Man.
Yeah.
But my dad had hired him to watch me because he knew the clientele of the pool hall.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that would be considered criminals.
Okay.
So I'm in there with all these criminals, racking balls and eating candy, thinking I'm having fun and collecting quarters. When these guys are talking about robbing me, but Iron Man's got my back.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
We all need an Iron Man in our life. I think.
Yeah, earlier you said your hat was kind of a tribute to your dad too.
Yeah, I lost my parents both in 2006. But my dad, growing up, he used to always make a big issue out of appearance. You know, it's like, he always said, he would just say every day, get up and look like somebody. And I didn't really get it as a kid, but he would put on like, he dressed better than me. He wear ties every day, sports coats, and fedoras, and always wearing suits. And he's just my dad to me, so I'm not thinking much of it. But he would, man. I mean, ever since I was like 6, that's all I heard was look like somebody. You're $1 million guy. Look like somebody. It's kind of ingrained in me. So it took losing him in 06 for it to really resonate. So when I lost him, then I became him.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the hats, I got several of them. I mean, I got a closet just for hats, but that's in honor of him. And and I really appreciate the fact that it's okay, because it's not a debate that I'm willing to have, because basically telling me to take off my hat to do a podcast or something is like telling me my dad isn't important, and I'm going to take it real personal. So I probably won't do the podcast.
Well, I'm glad we didn't ask you to do that.
Every now and then I wear hats, and when I do, I don't use the mic, and then Riley gives me a hard time for blowing out the mics when I laugh. So today I lost the hat. So
hey, Riley here. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Make a Move podcast. For more content, check us out on all major social media platforms and makeamovepodcast.com. Until next time, get off your butt.